We are continuing our study of education in the USA. We talked yesterday about our education levels in the USA, and today we're talking about the higher education landscape in general. So, first of all, when choosing a higher education option in the United States of America, there are many different types of opportunities. One are the universities. There are state colleges, liberal arts colleges, community colleges, technical schools, and trade schools. And so you can go any direction. So first you want to understand yourself and what your career choices or potential degrees that you want to go for. And usually when you're first getting started, you don't know. So you take a couple of years of general studies and then you decide what degree you're going to get. But what you need to investigate, what everyone needs to investigate when seeking out a higher education institution, is what the degree offerings are. What you want to make sure what you're interested in is actually available at that institution. What is the academic emphasis? Is it a broad range or is it a narrow target? And transferability is the most important because regardless of which school you go to, you want to make sure that you have the option to transfer your courses and credits with you when you go. What is the size of the campus? That's important. That's an important factor. You may want smaller class sizes for you because you need individual attention or more access to professors, or some of the universities, they may have hundreds of students in the classes. And so that might not be of interest to you, but that might be okay if you're a more independent learner. The cost is important and definitely the location. So there are two types of organizations or institutions. Some of the higher education are public and some are private, and there's advantages to both. Private education often can be more expensive, not always, so you want to look into those institutions because they don't rely on government funding at all, but usually tuition and private donations. But often there are general financial aid, really good financial aid packages for private institutions. So you can check that out. The smaller class sizes can be appealing. There's a lot of times a more diverse opportunity of academic programs and majors, sometimes specialized because it is going to be at a private institution. And they do adapt more quickly. It doesn't take them long to make adjustments and make changes. The campus culture and the traditions, the values, the ethics, the way that they have relationships among the students and the staff are very different sometimes in private education institutions than in higher education. And obviously, the public universities generally have more state-of-the-art facilities because they do have government sources of funding. So it really depends. If you live in the state of Florida, then you have the benefits, or whatever state you live in. If you go to the universities within the state that you live in, there are in-state tuition benefits. And if you live outside of the state that you're going to, there's usually a higher tuition price for those students. The classes are generally larger, but there are great research opportunities, and they can be very valuable if you are someone who is going into a certain type of career where that's going to be very important. And everything definitely has scholarship opportunities. You just have to investigate what those might be. So there are public universities that are very popular in every state of the United States, and colleges, and you'll notice that there are a wide range or a spectrum of majors and minor degrees in each one. and they're very popular. However, we're going to be focused on the state of Florida because this is where American Education International's headquarters are. So we want to encourage everyone to be going to a college or university or a community college that is in proximity of a good driving distance from Tampa, Florida. The listing of universities that we're getting and the admissions criteria for international students are for these websites. And you'll notice all of these are listed on our school website. And you'll see that all of these are approved and accredited and listed on the state university system of Florida. So that's how we know that we're good to go by going to those universities. There are also state colleges and community colleges that are good options as well. And those are listed on this website, on the Florida Department of Education website that you have access to in your modules. What's the difference between a state college and a community college? A community college is generally a 2-year program where you'll get an associate's degree. And we would attend a community college if we know that we can transfer our credits to a 4-year college where we can get a bachelor's degree or a university. And this is the list of 28 community colleges and state colleges that are in the state of Florida that are also really, really good options. Here's some images of these colleges that are located in the college system on the Florida Department of Education website that you have access to in your modules. Some of the things we're going to be thinking about, as you know, the degree offerings, the academic emphasis, the transferability, the campus size, the cost, the location. And here are the private colleges and universities that we have that we can investigate as well. There are many great options here, but the differences will have to do with what are the ones that are going to have the degrees, and we're going to examine all these factors. But did you know there's also a liberal arts college? And what are the differences between liberal arts colleges and state colleges? And you tend to know that state colleges are usually embedded in the city, somehow right in the middle of a city, and they have the options of on campus or off campus housing. The classes are generally bigger. Liberal arts colleges are more rounded education, usually covering humanities, sciences, and the social sciences, and the classes are usually smaller. And they are on private owned land most often. And you do get a chance to stay on campus, and you have everything that's pretty much organized for you in very small groups, which can be really nice because college, higher education can be tough. So if you have the opportunity for a smaller environment, sometimes that's more helpful. There's definitely interdisciplinary learning as well. And that means that you can get a more broad intellectual foundation, whereas some of the other schools are more targeted towards certain areas. Now, trade schools are interesting because these don't require a 4-year degree, but you would get a work certification and to be able to go into a certain industry. Examples might be automotive, plumbing, welding, culinary arts. If you are somebody who really has a special skill and you already know that's the area you want to pursue, you might not need to go to a 4-year college. You might be able to jump right into a trade school. The same way with the technical colleges and institutions. If you already know something you're really excited about doing, whether it be your own business or to join into a certain trade or technical skill that's already where there's already a good career path for you, then technical colleges and institutions are often good opportunities or good experiences. And you'll get a work certification. And it definitely is all about aligning what your personal preferences are to the institution, what your personal goals are to the institution. This is a list of the trade and technical institutions that are in the state of Florida. And I imagine there's always more that will come up based on certain industries that might be needed and more work programs that might be needed in the state. So that's what we have for today. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Happy dance.